How much can I make with 500 mil and only 2 GE slots? Let's find out. What made this idea interesting to me was having only 2 GE slots instead of 8 really handicaps the amount of money you can make per hour. Or does it? I've been doing some flipping recently, so I had some ideas of some items in my head that might be good, including Dragon Claws and the Void Waker. They're pretty high volume items. They sell usually between 1,000 to 2,000 per day, and they usually have a pretty good gap between their buy and sell, and it's pretty consistent. The Void Waker, I can tell you, has crashed randomly, like it'll just go down 4 or 5 mil in one day, but for the most part it's pretty good. 2 minutes in here, I got my first Dragon Claw sale, and it was a nice profit of 53k, so I was like, alright, I'm gonna try to drop the buy price a little bit, and not instantly, but it came through pretty quick. You can see the timer going down on the right there, so there are cuts throughout this, or else it'd be a 2-hour video. I don't think anyone wants to sit through a 2-hour video of me flipping. If you do, leave a comment down below. The Void Waker was moving pretty slow, so I switched it out for the Dragon Hunter lands, and that also started moving slow, so I switched it to a Warhammer. With only having 2 hours and 2 GE slots, I can't let any spot sit with a dead item. So the Warhammer came through, not too bad. The Dragon Claw profit margins increased over 70k now, which is really nice. They are almost always a pretty good item. Like I said earlier, they have a high volume, they have a pretty good sell ceiling and buy ceiling. It's a pretty decent item most of the time to make a pretty good return on your investment, and I'm just milking them for their full 8 hours. The Warhammer wasn't selling for that initial sell price, and I was getting nervous about them. Like, I'm trying to get rid of it, liquidate that area, that spot. Claws started slowing down on me, so I'm like, I'm gonna try out the Sanguine, the Sanguine Nesty staff or whatever it is. And there was another Warhammer, and I'm trying the old Void Waker again, because I was really trying to get that one to come through, and it just kept making me nervous, so I kept canceling it. If you've made it this far and you like these kind of videos, please leave a like and subscribe for more. I love making these videos, and your guys' engagement makes it so much more fun. About a half hour of real time has gone by now, and the Sanguistini staff was not working out for me, and the Dragon Claws were really slowing down, or the price. I never looked at an updated price, so I got a little bit nervous. I switched to the Hunter Crossbow, and the Primordial Boots can be a really good item, because they're one of those items that has a really high volume sold every day. It's like, and you can also do 15 per 4 hours, so that alone makes it a pretty good item. Anything that has a high limit and also a high volume is like always a prime item. Those are items I'm always looking for. I just used the GE prices from the RuneScape wiki, and I'll show the filters on screen now of what I use to find these items. The Dragon Hunter crossbow came through, and that was a, let's see here, 373k profit, which was my best profit so far. So I was moving towards the God Swords, because the AGS and the BGS, the Bandit's God Swords and the Amartial God Sword, I don't know if I said that one right either. They both have pretty high daily volumes, and since they're sold and bought so frequently, I was like, you know, I'm going to try it out one of those items, see if I can get a little cheeky flip. And I was only making 12k per AGS, so it wasn't worth, and the BGSs were way too volatile. And the Kodai Wand also falls into that same category as the Dragon Claws and the Void Waker, where it has a high daily volume, and it can also have a high buy floor and buy ceiling. And I was sitting here about 45 minutes into it, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I need to make some splash. I was like, let's go for a Torva Full Helm. Sometimes those can work out, and I was really hoping to hit like one big 600-700k, and I got nervous about that too, so I canceled it and went back to the trusty Void Waker, and that still didn't have a good chart on the GE, so I'm like, alright, let's go back to the Sanguistini staff. I put the offer in for the Sang, and luckily the Kodai sells. That's a nice 250k profit there. So I'm like, I'm gonna try another one, and they both come through. I'm like, all right, that's nice. Let's see if we get 250k again here. And I almost put it in for like way under. That was a little nerve-wracking. I lost like 4 mil the other day doing that, because if you don't put it for too much under, it doesn't warn you. So a Sang came through, and that was a 194k profit right there. So I got another one. Another Kodai sold for another 250k profit. Another Sanguesti meaning staff came through, and that one sold again for another 194k profit. So I'm like, I am a money printer right now, just making that dough, and I was very proud of myself. I'm like, all right, this isn't going so bad. The first hour and 10 minutes maybe were a little bit shaky, but the Sang staff and the Kodai wands were making me feel like Harry Potter out here, making money with magic, baby. After the last Sang staff sold, both the Kodai and the Sang both really slowed down, so I switched it up a little bit, went with one of the lower value, higher volume items in the Web Weaver Bowl, canceled the Sang staff out for a Missouri body. That came through pretty quick, which made me nervous because they already were going for below their median price, which can be a bad sign, but it also could mean high volatility, which means more money. But either or, it makes it fun. And the primordial boots are coming through now, so I'm trying to sell those, and those are starting to sell for about a 50k profit. And luckily for me, the Missouri body sold for 190k profit. I was like, wow, that was pretty dang good. I almost made a clean 200k off that one. And then I'm like, what now? How about the old trusty Void Waker again? And the primordial boots are coming through, so I'm like, all right, we're switched up the money printer from printing money using Harry Potter's stuff to back in old school Karasi style with primordial boots, which were, what were they called in RuneScape 3? Rage Fires or something like that? Steadfast boots. That's what it was. I was sitting here and was about to cancel the primordial boots when right when I hit abort, they came through. I was going to cancel the one just to sell the one because I didn't want the dead spot there, and that was crazy. I couldn't believe how it went through right when I clicked it. And the Void Waker finally comes through for me. Can you guys believe it? We finally got the Void Waker coming through. Waiting for the primordial boots and the Void Waker to sell. Those boots sell for a nice clean 100k profit, which is always nice. Who doesn't like making 100k gold buying and selling stuff in the Grand Exchange? And I was like, you know, those boots took a little bit to sell. Let's try some other items out. Throw in some wild cards in the last 15 minutes. Void Waker sells for 104k profit. That was finally what I was looking for, but it took a little bit too long. I think it was about like 10 minutes it took, and with only 15 minutes left, I can't really do too much with that. So we'll try the rapier out. That's another item that has a high volume per day, and it usually has a pretty decent buying and selling price where you can make good 40 to like over 100k per. I really was 360 no scope in these last offers in here. I wasn't sure what I was gonna go for. I'm like, Ancient God Sword, no, I didn't like that. I'm like, oh yeah, Amulet of Torture. Sometimes you can really hit some good money with those, and it came through pretty quick. And I'm like, all right, 4 minutes left. Maybe I can make 3 or 4 flips with it. If I sold it for that initial one, I would have made 70 some K off of it. Dropped it down for a 50k profit. Time runs out. Items sold like maybe a minute past timer, not a big deal. And the moment of truth. Well, how much do we make? 2.6 mil in 2 hours using only 2 GE slots. How about that? That was a super fun challenge, and if you want to see more videos like that, please leave a like and subscribe for more, and leave a comment on what kind of challenge you want me to take on, and I'll gladly take it on. I'm Jeff, and I'll see you next time.